What's going on, guys? It is Rinne-Hatake here, back with another video. And today we got what if Naruto had the karma seal. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the last two videos I uploaded. But without further ado, let's get started. In the galaxy, far away from normal civilization, there was an alien race that devoured planets' life energy. And that race would be the Otsutsuki. As you may know, the Otsutsuki came in pairs to devour planets' life energy. Kaguya and Ishiki came to the planet Earth to devour the life energy, but Kaguya revolted against Ishiki and gravely injured him. And Ishiki had to find a vessel so he can maintain his life and stay alive. So the best option he had was Jigen. Jigen is still gonna be his host. And yeah, we move forward from that, and Kaguya sooner or later gives birth to her two children, the Sage of Six Paths and Hamura. So yeah, that happens, and they also revolted against Kaguya, seeing that she's doing wicked things and didn't want to actually save this world. So they fought against her, and everything goes the same as they fought her. She was sealed, and the two brothers went on their separate ways. And the Sage of Six Paths has his two sons, Indra and Ashura, like normal. And everything according to canon goes exactly the same on how, well, the reincarnation process works. But when it gets to Sasuke and Naruto, Ashura decided to try use a little bit more of his, well, Otsutsuki powers, if you could say it like that. So he's still part Otsutsuki, so he's gonna try to, well, add a mark on Naruto's hand, and it took him a while to do it. Because, well, it's hard to do it when you're actually dead. I'm just gonna say he was able to do it because that's how he's gonna get the karma seal. So Naruto gets the karma seal when Ashura placed it on him after the Nine Tails attack. So right after the Nine Tails attack, when Kurama was sealed into Naruto, this was the perfect opportunity for Ashura to seal, well, to add the mark on his hand, the karma seal on his hand. And it's on his right hand. He's got the karma seal on his right hand, as you can see in the thumbnail. So yeah, it doesn't really change much about the canon story. Really, it doesn't really change much. The only big change is the mark on Naruto's hand and the way Naruto is sometimes, because Naruto is actually more of a peacemaker, and Ashura isn't trying to get revived again, but he doesn't know that this will actually revive him. But what he's trying to do is help Naruto become stronger so he can finally put an end to this reincarnation process with his brother Indra. So he doesn't really know what this would do, but it will do something later on. You guys will see that later on in the future. But we stay in the present time. So as Naruto is growing up, he's still bullied greatly. But Naruto doesn't really care, because he's more intrigued or wanting. He's more intrigued in, well, peacemaking. He wants to create a world with no wars and conflicts, just a world with peace. Naruto wants that world, but he doesn't know how to make it. It isn't his, like, life goal and ambition, it's just something he would like to see sooner or later. But the thing is, since Naruto is still bullied, and now he has the mark on his hand, it's kind of influencing him to rely on knowledge instead of trying to be a prankster. Naruto he relies on this feeling he has, the feeling that he should rely on knowledge. And he's been going to the library, the Shinobi library, to read. But they'd always kick him out, and Naruto would always get frustrated. But he found a way to get around this by using the transformation jutsu. He found a book one time in his house, and it was a transformation jutsu book. Well, a book that teaches you how to do the transformation jutsu. It was left by him because he wanted to see how Naruto would use this jutsu, to see if he would use it for good or not. And Naruto used this to sneak into the library, and the librarian didn't notice this. He'd just see this, grown man reading a book. And the librarian didn't think much about this, because it's just an ordinary villager, right? No, incorrect. Naruto borrowed multiple books with his transformation jutsu because, no one could actually tell it's him. And he's been training out in the forest because he's been using the books he's learned. It's basically the books he's been borrowing and been reading are books on how to be a shinobi and chakra control and jutsu and stuff like that. Naruto is growing stronger by this. Keep in mind that he's only like 6 years old at the time. He's not gonna get exponentially stronger, but his intelligence would rise and he'll become more smarter. And that's a big up for Naruto because he will get smarter, and now with the knowledge he has, he's basically very good in taijutsu because of the knowledge he has now, and Ashura kind of influencing him. It's kind of influencing Naruto to be a little stronger, and his taijutsu prowess would increase, and so would his jutsu arsenal just a little bit. But it wouldn't be by much, it's just a little bit. He learned a few jutsus like the substitution, the clone jutsu, and he's learned about the affinities way earlier on because, of the books he's read. And he figured out he has a wind affinity. So he learned the wind bullet jutsu. That's like the only jutsu he has that is jutsu with an affinity. So yeah, that's how it's going for Naruto so far. But for Sasuke, he's still not an emo kid. He's still fine because Itachi hadn't massacred his clan just yet. But sooner or later he will do that. Naruto attended the academy, and Iruka was surprised because he was expecting Naruto to be a bratty kid and trying to get attention, but no, Naruto was a respectful, nice, and great student overall. He was a smart and intelligent kid, and Iruka is starting to take a very good liking to Naruto, seeing that Naruto was smart, strong, and he thinks that Naruto could actually be the Rookie of the Year at this rate. And Sasuke, seeing this, was surprised that this blonde-haired kid could keep up with him. And Iruka decided to do a practical to see where they're all at. They already did all the written ones, so this is like the third week of the academy. So they had plenty of practicals during that time, but this time it's a big practical. The practicals they've just been doing are just doing some like push-ups and sit-ups and just a bit of running. That's basically the practicals they've been doing since the past 3 weeks. But now they actually have a real challenge. And Naruto was very, very prepared for this. So Iruka told Naruto to try use the substitution jutsu or any jutsu that you know in particular. And Naruto nods his head saying, thinking in his mind, saying, I'll impress Iruka Sensei with this jutsu I've learned. And he makes his hand sign saying, Wind Style, Gale Palm. And he blasts a wind palm straight at a wooden log, like breaking the log. And Iruka was impressed. And Sasuke was pretty shocked too, seeing that he also knows affinity jutsus. And Sasuke was called up next, and Sasuke said, Fire Style, Fireball Jutsu. And Iruka was pretty surprised too. So yeah, and now they've been doing the shuriken throwing, the kunai throwing, the laps, push-ups and the sit-ups. The normal stuff, basically. And Naruto aces it. Sasuke not too far behind. And now, it's the final stretch. It is the sparring. And Sasuke, well, Sasuke is up against Naruto. And Naruto is prepared. And he takes his stance. And Naruto doesn't realize that the mark on his hand began glowing. And he feels the burn on his hand. As he says, "What is this sensation?" But he just rubs it off. He just rubs it off and just focuses on the fight. But what he doesn't realize was the mark was crawling up. And crawls up, not to about his face, but just up his arm. And Sasuke saw this glow in Naruto's arm. Naruto isn't wearing his orange and his orange gi right now. He's just wearing the thing he wore in the academy. His t-shirt and some shorts with the goggles. That's basically what he's wearing right now. No, never mind. I'm changing Naruto's outfit. I'm saying he's wearing a hoodie with a white hoodie with black pants and some white shoes. It's just gonna be the ninja sandals shoes with some bandages on one leg. So yeah, he isn't looking too bad. And Naruto knows something's crawling up his hand, but he doesn't know what it is. But he just tries to focus on the match. And Sasuke dashes forward. Naruto wasn't expecting such speed, but he knows it's Sasuke, so he shouldn't have underestimated him. Naruto dodges Sasuke's kick and goes for a sweep, and Sasuke jumps up, and then Naruto backs away and dashes towards Sasuke, throwing a right hook. Sasuke, when he lands on the ground, dodges the right hook and tries to unleash a punch straight at Naruto's face. Naruto blocks this with his left hand and counters with another right hook, and this time it connects with Sasuke's face, and Sasuke was knocked back a little bit, and Naruto wasn't stopping there. Naruto kicked Sasuke. He basically kind of jelly-legged him, but he wasn't behind Sasuke. He was in front of him, basically jelly-legging one leg, and then adding another kick straight to the face, knocking Sasuke backwards. Sasuke was like on one knee right now, and he wasn't expecting this from Naruto, and Sasuke was like, "Alright Naruto, let's end this. Fire style, fireball jutsu." And Sasuke blasts a fireball jutsu straight at Naruto, and Naruto didn't know what to do. He knows that the wind affinity just enhances the fireball jutsu, so adding wind to it would just increase Sasuke's fireball. So he just raises his right hand, trying to punch it back, but with an open palm, or trying to catch it. But what he didn't expect was his mark, not the curse mark, but the karma seal, spread toward his face. And now it's on his face. And Kurama, well, as you can see, Kurama is also influencing Naruto. Now I'm gonna say, whenever Naruto activates the curse mark, he kind of taps into a bit of Kurama's QB influence. And he taps into that, and his eyes turn red and has a slit like kind of thing on it. And Naruto's whiskers kind of look more animalistic. His claws begin to grow a little bit as he catches the fireball jutsu with one hand, and it starts to get absorbed. And Sasuke, seeing this, says, "What the hell? He can absorb my jutsu?" Naruto starts absorbing Sasuke's fireball jutsu as it just vanishes into his hand. And Naruto is almost running out of steam because he's never tapped into the QB influence, plus with the karma seal, so this adds for extra strain on his body. So he quickly dashes towards Sasuke, kneeing him straight in the gut, and that's when Naruto ran out of power. And Naruto falls to the ground, and Sasuke also falls to the ground. And it was a double knockout. What I didn't see was Sasuke also need Naruto due to him kind of awakening the Sharingan at the last second. It was just the one Tomoe. Seeing Naruto in that state made Sasuke awaken his Sharingan at the last second, and they both need each other straight in the gut. And that's when Naruto ran out of power, as I've said already, and they both fell on the ground unconscious. So yeah, that's basically how they're going so far. They were taken to, well, the school nurse, and the nurse helped them and get them back to the right health. And yeah, that was just a battle. That wasn't the Genin exams. That was just the practicals that they had. But over the years, when Naruto's finally reached the age of 12, they had their rematch. And Naruto was practicing that form he accessed ages ago. And Naruto has managed to, well, master that form. It isn't just... You can't access the One-Tails just yet, because that'd be way too OP, and he'd just wail on Sasuke at that rate. But he just has the QB influence. And even with a QB influence, he could still ragdoll Sasuke. And he probably can. It's just... he was too much of a rush in the last match. But this time he's ready. He doesn't access the form right away, but he gets into his fighting stance. And I forgot to cover most of the other stuff, but you already know Naruto would have aced it. But we move on, and Naruto and Sasuke take their fighting positions, and Sasuke is prepared this time, activating his one Tomoe Sharingan, dashing at Naruto, and Naruto dashes towards him as well. And they have an incredible taijutsu bout. And right now, the winner of this taijutsu bout is Naruto. Naruto is overpowering Sasuke, and Naruto is basically leagues and bounds ahead of Sasuke in taijutsu. And there's one quick spinning back kick straight to the face. He knocks Sasuke backwards. That almost knocks out Sasuke for a second, because Sasuke's vision is so blurry. And he's on one knee, breathing heavily already. And Naruto looks down at Sasuke, saying, "Is that all you got, Sasuke? Bring it on!" And Sasuke, hearing those words, infuriates him. Oh my gosh. Infuriates him. I can't believe I can't say that. Apologies. Infuriates him. And this allowed him to keep going, since he gets a bit of a rage boost, seeing that Naruto's looking down on him. And he starts to put up much more of a better fight. But Naruto activates his Karma Seal, and that also activates his QB influence. And he accesses that form, and this time he's already a whole nother league, surpassing Sasuke's strength. Punching him multiple times in the gut, and then kneeing him into the air, and jumping and catching his feet and slamming him straight into the ground. And Naruto, still in the air, makes his hand sign saying, "Wind style! Gale palm!" And he blasts that wind palm straight at Sasuke. And Sasuke couldn't do anything about it, but tries to block it. But it does nothing. And there was a big kind of, not really much of a big explosion. It's just a mini explosion with the wind and dust going everywhere. And Sasuke was laying on the ground unconscious. He's basically lying in a mini crater that the wind bullet hit him with. And the crowd was silent, and Naruto slams back into the circle, saying, "Well done, Sasuke. You did pretty well. Hope I fight you next time." As he deactivates his Karma Seal and his QB influence form. And yeah, this time it was in a double knockout, and Naruto was rewarded the Rookie of the Year. And Sakura, well, she wasn't too happy about that. And Sakura tried to say that Naruto cheated. He using some sort of cheat to weaken Sasuke, and Iruka told, Iruka glared at Sakura, saying, "Shut up, Sakura. We don't really care. You all saw the fight. Naruto didn't use any device or anything to cheat. Naruto beat Sasuke fair and square, and Sasuke knows it himself." And Sakura gets a little angry, but she couldn't really do anything about it, so we moved from that. And the teams were created on the next day, and I'm not gonna say Sakura's on this team. I'm gonna say it's just gonna be a two-man team. Why I'm giving it a two-man team? Because Hiruzen actually wanted a two-man team, so Ino's team is gonna get another person, Sakura. So yeah, there's no Sakura in this team this time around, since Hiruzen wanted a two-man team. And it was just Naruto and Sasuke. This will be the assault team with the most firepower. Because Hiruzen thought Sakura was too weak to be on this team. Because after what he saw, he definitely thought Sakura was not qualified to be on this team. Because even if she got great chakra control, if she's too busy fanboying over Sasuke, she's not going to be much of an asset to the team. So Hiruzen decided to not add another person to the team. He could have added Neji, but nah, he was already on his team, and that team would also be the assault team. These are the two top strongest teams. And on the day that they were getting picked up, Kakashi was late, and Naruto told Sasuke to try to do some mental training. And Sasuke said, replied to Naruto saying, Naruto, how am I supposed to do that mental training? And he said, well, just imagine a strong fighter, someone stronger than even me, or the Hokage, possibly the Hokage, and you fighting them, and you using all you've got in your mind. And think of someone you know that is strong, and just try to fight them with all you've got. And even if you lose, it's still gonna improve your training. And Sasuke thought of Itachi and how he was gonna kill him, but every time he fought him in his mind, he always lost. He starts to get a bit of a bloody nose, but he just wipes that away and keeps training. And Naruto, well, not Sasuke, but Hiruzen, and he's getting thrashed around by Hiruzen. And there's one person watching him, and Naruto doesn't realize this yet, and that was Kurama, and two people, one person, and actually one beast watching him. And that was Kurama and Ashura watching. And they saw Naruto improving against this third Hokage. And Ashura asked him, well, if he wanted to train, and Naruto got on the defensive and activated the Karma Seal with the QB influence, saying, who are you? I won't hesitate to attack. And Naruto looks up, seeing Ashura and the beast behind him, saying, what the hell? And Ashura says, calm down, Naruto. I am Ashura, and that is Kurama. And, well, you and I are one and the same, basically. You are my reincarnation, but I decided to give you a little bit more of a power boost, giving you that mark that's spread on you right now. And Naruto didn't understand this at first, but now he finally gets it and says, well, this is a bit of a weird predicament, so can you help me train? And they started training in their mindscape, and time flows very, very differently. So basically 1 second here, I'm gonna say, is basically 1 hour. So we spend 30 seconds in there, and that is basically 30 hours. And that's a day and 6 hours in his mindscape. Sasuke is still training against Itachi and loses over and over. But he improves his taijutsu and his fire style jutsu even further due to this mental training. Until Kakashi finally arrives and shows his face, seeing that his students are just sitting there, and Kakashi looks at them saying, they must be doing the mental training, or maybe they're just asleep. So he taps the board with his, basically knocks on the board, and both of their eyes, Naruto realizes that Kakashi's here, and he says goodbye to Ashura and leaves his mindscape, opening his eyes. And Sasuke opens his eyes too, and his nose is bleeding, but Sasuke wipes it off and scoffs, saying, I let him beat me so many times, as he clenches his fist. And Kakashi, looking at those reactions, knows that they were training while he was out somewhere doing whatever he was reading. And Kakashi asked him to go on the roof and they'll introduce themselves there. And they had their introductions, and most of that goes exactly the same, except Sasuke saying to beat a certain someone besides his goal to be an Avenger and kill Itachi. Basically, besides that. And that, he looked straight at Naruto. So yeah. And they had the bell test the next day, and I'll be leaving off there because I don't want to make the story too long. But you guys will see the next part right after this, maybe in a few hours' time. But without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next part. Peace.